Happy Easter, guys. What's up, guys? Happy Easter. Let's look at what the charts have for us today. Okay, so I think we're gonna be analyzing GBP USD in preparation for next week. So if show some love by subscribing, okay? That'll go a long way to help the growth of our channel. And tell me in the comment section exactly where you're streaming from so I can know who I'm dealing with. So is my computer gonna have a problem only when we want to go live? Imagine we did not have a backup. Okay. So our analysis today will start from the weekly time frame because it's weekend. The weekly candlestick has closed. Everything has closed. And at this point, we are starting a new month and a new week. So I'm trying to share the live. So I'm trying to share the live with so Welcome, guys. So we're looking at GBP USD on the weekly time frame. Looking at it from the weekly perspective. The network is not really the best, but let's use our smaller device to do our analysis. So on the weekly, you realize we had a clean change of character, okay? And what happened? Price went back up, retested, now we are crashing. So weekly is bearish, very, very bearish. On the weekly, we can see the market is bearish, okay? Very simple. After the change of character, we had a very good pullback, okay? And you see all the weak actions. No one closed above the break of structure zone or the change of character zone. What does that tell us? Tell us sellers are still very powerful. That tells us sellers are still very, very powerful. So at this point, thanks for those who are joining us. You're welcome. And I think you should just tell me in the comment section exactly where you are streaming from. Tell us where you're streaming from, guys. Okay. So, like I said, after the change of character, we had a pullback, and all the candlesticks, the weekly candlesticks, you see, they just created wicks above, but no one closed above this zone. So they all closed below. Okay. And now let's move down to the daily time frame. You all can see the daily is bearish as well, because we've been creating lower highs and lower lows, okay? So this is the last break of structure we had. Good. This is the last break of structure we had. And you see, after that, price has been doing very well, because after the break of structure, price gave us a pullback, and now it's moving to the downside. Okay, telling us this week we have to be looking for sells. We should be looking for sells. Now, if we have to go to the 4 hours, is bearish, but we are currently around a very strong support zone. Okay, we are on a very strong support zone, and what are we expecting? The best thing we can see here is if price successfully breaks below this zone and give us something like this, that will be perfect. Okay, that will solve the problem. We'll have good sales to continue the trend. So on the 4 hours, we are in a strong support zone, but the overall trend is still very bearish, because if you look closely, this was our last break of structure. Okay, telling us price still has a high probability to keep falling. All right, so we are looking for sales, okay, this week. But the sales will only validate if we break through this support level. Okay, bin dog. Oh, you're buying. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Can you tell us why you're buying? Yeah, so that's what we see. Welcome to all those joining us, especially those joining us for the very first time. I go by the name FelloF, and this channel is to help beginner traders understand more about price action market structure and how to start trading as a complete beginner. Okay, so what we are doing today is top-down analysis in preparation for the week ahead. Okay, so if you are new here, do not forget to show some love by subscribing to the channel. All right, and if you want to trade with me, you can as well go to the section. There's a link in the description section leading you to my Telegram channel. All right, where I share free signals, and my WhatsApp number is there for you to relate with me if you want. Okay, so for those joining us now, I want us to take it all over again so that you should understand exactly why we should be looking for sales this week, or what we should be looking for this coming week. Okay, so we'll start from the weekly time frame because the week just closed and now we are on weekend, looking forward to make some choices. Okay, so the pair we are analyzing is GBP USD. Okay, we are analyzing GBP USD, and if we look closely, you realize that we're about to start a little uptrend here because we started creating higher highs and higher lows. Higher high, but what happened? Price changed character at this point. Let me use a cleaner chart for this analysis. Let me see if we have an empty chart. That's better. This one is occupied. No, lately I've been teaching my students how to trade key levels. That's why you see so many lines on my charts. Okay. So I have to look for the one that is less saturated with dirt. So this is the one. You just take off all the shit and start it all over again. Tell me exactly where you're streaming from, guys. Where are you streaming from? Tell me the name of your country. And tell me the pairs you want us to analyze, because I'm here to work with you guys. So like I said, we were creating higher highs, higher low, higher high, but now price came and violated the last higher low, giving us a change of character. All right, market direction changed. Okay, Macking or Mac G. That's an awesome opinion. That's really great. No problem. I'll be here on Monday so that you can tell me exactly how it plays out for you. All right, so we have this change of character here, okay? And this is the weekly time frame we're talking about. And if you extend this, our box to the left, you realize that after we closed below this box, price has not actually closed above again. All the remaining candlesticks that created after have been giving us weak outs, okay? have been wiking out of this zone, telling us sellers are still very, very powerful in this market. Okay, and when you notice sellers are powerful, what should you be looking for? Sell opportunities, right? Yeah, you should be looking for sell opportunities. So we see that weekly is bearish, and the need for top-down analysis is just for you to understand market direction. Okay, it's not about entries or what. So now that we see bearish momentum, um, weekly to the daily to also see what we have, if it's bearish or bullish, because it's simple for us to make any decision. At least two time frames from a top-down analysis should be in sync. That is, if daily and weekly are bearish, then we should be looking for bearish opportunities. If daily and 4 hours are bullish, then we should be looking for bullish opportunities. If 4 hours and weekly are bearish, then we should be looking for sales opportunity. So that's how simple it should look like. Okay, because the majority time frames will always lead the trend direction. Okay, all right. MacG, what do you want to know about the British currency? All right, so at this point we have already spotted that we are bearish on the weekly. So we go down to the daily to see exactly how it looks like. On the daily, we've been creating lower highs and lower lows. Okay, if we take out our box, our weekly box, you'll see that we've been creating lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and this is the most recent lower high. So what are we expecting? If price has continued, then we should be looking forward to have a lower low. But now at this point, it gets a little tricky because we actually have a very strong support zone around here. Okay, so price could still be coming to this zone just to bounce off and keep going on. That's why when you get close to a support zone, you should be very smart with your trades and don't be too greedy. Don't be hoping to maybe hold long trades. Okay. Okay, so for now, we continue selling because the daily time frame and the weekly time frames are telling us that price should be dropping. Okay, you want to know how fundamental analysis affects my technical analysis of the British pound, and do I understand what I'm trading at all, or I'm just reiterating what's already happened? Okay, if you want to know what, if you want to know if I actually understand what I'm trading, or I'm just going back in history to talk about what's happening, just go through my channel and you will see videos that I do before and after setups. So I believe that's an answer to your question. And then when you talk about the fundamentals, or how my fundamental analysis affects or works with my technical, actually I'm not a fundamental analyst. Okay, so I focus more on technical analysis, and I incorporate a very tight risk management strategy to make it easier, because for the fundamentals, you don't know what the Americans are thinking. Like last week, Trump just made a tweet that actually changed everything, changed the direction of the market. So even if you did your fundamental analysis before that, you would still be wrong because you did not know what Trump was thinking about. All right. That's why, as a trader, who you said you are, as a trader, you need to focus more on managing your risk properly, because if you focus only on technical fundamentals without risk management, you will still not go anywhere. All right, let me read your next comment. You say, I'm a trader too, so I am scrutinizing your work, sir. Okay, no big deal. So how can you determine trend without knowing why the current trend is forming? Okay, what a great question. All right, knowing why is optional for you traders. Knowing why is optional. Reason being that once you understand how a trend forms, you follow the trend. You don't need to know why the trend is forming. All you need to do is know how to follow the trend. Because if you want to know why the trend is forming, then you also want to know when it has to stop and stuff like that. So I focus more on following the trend, and it's been paying and it pays. And check. That's how traders do. We follow the trend. You don't try to create a trend or know why a trend is forming. Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, we are currently in a downtrend. Okay. But if you look at the external market structure on the daily time frame, you realize that we had a little break of this zone, okay, and price actually closed above. But now on the bigger picture, it doesn't really matter that much. Reason being that the weekly, on the weekly, this is just a pullback, okay. This is a major pullback from the major time market structure, external structure, okay, because you see we had a very big change of character here. So all the analysis we've been doing is on the internal structure. Now, if we have to follow the external structure, you realize this is the last high price created before we had a change of character. Okay? Before we had a change of character, which means all what we see here is a pullback. And if you have to use your Fibonacci from the highest point to the lowest point, you realize we've had a very deep retracement to somewhere around 78.6 retracement levels, telling us we should have been looking for sell opportunities already on the weekly time frame. All right, so you're asking my average percentage return on holding time for trends. Okay, you can actually contact me inbox to find out all those things in case you want to know more, because I'm here for top-down analysis, and maybe after top-down analysis we can do a Q&A. You can ask your questions and I'm always ready to answer you. Okay, so your questions should relate to what we have here on the charts. So guys, like I said, we are currently around a daily support level, but on the bigger picture, if price has to break through our support level, where is our next zone of expectation? So we are expecting prices all the way down to somewhere around 1.2 thousand. Okay. Let me see. You said, "How are you good, sir? It's negative and you don't have a holding time risk." Okay, no problem. Cool. All right, guys. So this is exactly what we have going on the daily and the weekly. Now let's go down to the 4 hours, okay, to see exactly what the 4 hours is telling us. Okay, still on the 4 hours, you see we've been having a clean downtrend just like we had on the daily. All right, but currently on the immediate market, like immediate price is around a support level 2. Okay, we are around a support level, and at this point the question is, what are we going to do at this point? Because I believe most of you will be looking forward to take trades on Monday or Tuesday after markets start moving. So what we should be looking forward to is, if price decides to take out this zone and give us a good pullback, we can continue the sales. Okay, we can continue the sales. But we don't take any rash decision. We wait for confirmations, okay? Wait for confirmations. And for those who want to get in contact with me, just go to the description. I have a WhatsApp number there, and the links to my Telegram channel are also there, where I share signals. Everything is free. You don't pay for anything, okay? So it's completely free. And let's look at what happened on the monthly. Let's look at the monthly candle, last monthly candle, because the month just closed, okay? And this is a new month. So what gives us more sales, or what gives us the confidence to continue looking for sales, is the manner at which our monthly candlestick closed, okay? This is more like a Marubozo. It's a very powerful bearish candle. And if you notice, our new month candle that just popped up has already flipped bearish, okay? The new candle that is creating has already flipped bearish. So there's a possibility, if prices have to go up, we'll see prices come all the way down, take out these lows, and maybe tap on our weekly, or our weekly support level before moving, okay? And if price finally takes this out, for pattern traders, this will be a double top formation, okay? You see, right? This will be a double top formation because we've created equal highs around here. We've created equal highs around here. And after creating equal highs, what gives you the bearish confirmation as a trader, as a pattern trader, for those who trade patterns, is a break below the neckline, okay? Once we have that break below the neckline, that's when we'll know, below this neckline, all right? That's when we'll know that the trend has truly changed. And what we'll be expecting, we'll expect a pullback. Let me just show exactly what I'm talking about. So now that we are coming close to the neckline, this is exactly what we're expecting, something like this. Then we have a pullback to continue trending to the downside, okay? So that, like, if this has to break. So if you ask my opinion, I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to be selling in the market this week, and maybe throughout the month of April, okay? Throughout the month of April. So that's it. So I don't know, do you have any questions related to what we have going on the charts? Or do you have any opinion to share? Exactly where you're streaming from? Tell me where you're joining us from, so I should know you, and I should know who I'm dealing with. So guys, that is exactly what we have on GBP USD. Personally, this is the pair I'll be trading this week. Okay, GBP USD. And let's see how it ends. Whoa, my friend from Ghana, Eunice. Nice to have you here again. So tell me, what I have used on this pair, on GBP USD. Are you bearish or bullish? Awesome. Yeah, it means I have the same point of view on this. The links to my Telegram community and in the description. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. You can join my free Telegram. Wow. Awesome, awesome. Thanks very much for always watching. Okay, I love that. So So you can join my free Telegram, and maybe if you want to connect with me, my WhatsApp number is also in the description. So check it. If you don't see it, you let me know so that I can put it on the screen for you to connect. Yeah, so we are bearish on GBP USD. Being bearish on GBP USD simply means the pound is losing strength, okay, while the dollar is gaining strength. And due to the fact that the dollar is more like a safe haven currency, most people, when there is global crisis, war, pandemic, whatever, they always move their funds from local currencies to the safe haven, like gold, safe havens like gold. Now, if they're not moving it into gold, they still want to keep it in fiat, then most people will be moving it to the US dollars. That's why you see the pound has been dropping since this war began. Okay? The pound has been dropping. And for gold traders, you realize that normally during crisis, gold usually rise, but this crisis, this war has been different, and there is so much mixed feeling about it. And you see, gold has just been fluctuating. Gold has dealt with a lot of people. That's why, if you ask my opinion, I'll tell you, as a beginner, don't trade gold for now. Okay, you end up blowing your accounts for nothing. And even on these currency pairs, right? When trading currency pairs like this, it's not good to hold trades over the weekend, because, like now, you don't know what's happened in Iran. Maybe something bad might happen, and the market will gap and stop you out, and maybe even gap over your stop loss, and maybe you lose more than what you plan to lose. So Eunice, have you successfully gotten the Telegram link? The links in the description. If yes, just let me know. I want to connect with you. So that's what we have going on these pairs, and on this pair. No problem. Which pair do you want us to analyze? Okay. It means I don't know, because I placed the link in the description. Okay. So let me put the WhatsApp +23761899562. Let me just increase the size so you can see it. Can you see the number on the screen? Well, no problem. You can just, since you've been watching me for long, any of my videos, just go watch any of my videos and you'll see the links in the bio, in the description. All right. So for GBP USD, what should we be expecting? Let me just break it down for you. Let me go down to the 4 hours and 1 hour, so that you should know exactly what personally I'm expecting for this, for tomorrow, if tomorrow is not public, it's not holiday. Okay, so normally, since we are bearish, right, we should be looking forward to see price break through the zone. Okay, to see price break through the zone. If you see on my other charts, you'll see I have so many lines on the charts, because I have been trading key levels, and I've been teaching my students how to trade key levels. All right, because trading key levels give you a tighter stop loss and makes it easy for you to know your targets, your goals, your goal to gain on every trade and whatever. Okay, but as of now, okay, on the 4 hours, you see we are on a strong support level, And on the 1 hour time frame, since we are looking for sales, because since we all agree that the market is bearish, and in a bearish market, what do? You focus only on sales. Okay, so this is the most recent key level we have here. Yes, they are more like support and resistance, but I'll explain them to you in a bit. Okay, so key levels are around numbers like 1 point, this one I'm drawing is 1.3300. Okay, that's a key level and it acts as a support. Let's just go back to history and see how price reacts around the zone. You see the line? Let's just go to 4 hours so you can see it all the way back. Whenever price gets to a key level, it stops. You see here, right? Price stopped here, price stopped here, price stopped here, price came close, always reacts. Reacted here, reacted here. Now, what are we expecting? Price, let's go back to the 1 hour. If price decides to come back up before dropping, it becomes a little risky, but since we still believe in the sales for the week, then we will be looking for a sell around here. Okay, so you say maybe price decides to come back up before dropping. If you look closely, that would be a liquidity sweep, but for me to really consider it as a good liquidity sweep, price would have taken out this low. Okay, if price would come a little lower before pulling back up to tap into this zone, that would have been a perfect trade for us. But if price decides to go back up, no problem, I will still sell. Reason being that I am targeting sales for this market because the overall time frames or the overall trend is bearish. So this is the setup. This is my first setup for the week. Okay, if price goes up, I'm selling. If price breaks through, I'll wait for a pullback and I will keep selling. So that's what I'm waiting on GBP USD. Is that okay? Are you looking for something similar? So that's how simple I make trading look. I don't complicate it too much. I look at the overall trend direction and I mark out key levels. And I use key levels as my entries because the banks, institutions will always want price to tap back on key levels. Very simple. On round figures around, because it's not just the number, it's a zone. You see here, price tapped on it. You see, price reacted, price reacted, price reacted, price reacted. So it's a key level. If you want, let me draw the next key level so you can see it. All these round numbers are key levels. I've made a video. If you've been following me closely, you should have watched that video. Okay, this is the next key level. 1.3200. So when I mark it out, you look at it. What happens? Price got here, reacted. Price got here, reacted. Let's go back to history. Let's just go to the 4 hours so that I can take us further. Yes, my entry time frame is 1 hour. I don't trade 15 minutes. I don't trade any other thing. I analyze on the higher time frame and I get my entries on the 15 minute, on the 1 hour, sorry. You see, price reaction, price reaction, price reaction, price reaction, price reaction. So the key levels work like magic. Yes, I get in on the 1 hour. And I've been talking about those who have small accounts and want to grow them. I dropped a strategy about these key levels. The strategy with the 1 hour time frame, you risk, if you have just $100, you risk 2% of your account. That's 20 pips. You trade just GBP USD or just major pairs. You see, price always reacts around key levels. Always. You can go back test it. You can try it. You can try it yourself and you enjoy it. It works like magic. Okay, it works like magic. So that is it. When you connect with me, maybe you, how long have you been trading? You see, it works here. Always, when price gets to a key level, it reacts. There's always a reaction. There's always a reaction. You see, came here. This was a powerful move. Gave us approximately from one key level to the other key level is approximately. It's not approximately. It is 100 pips. And there is also what we call mid levels. Let me just go to a chart that I've drawn out the levels so you can see. Okay, September last year. Okay, watch online. You study online. Just study videos on YouTube. I think you should get a mentor. If you don't feel comfortable studying online, then you should get a live mentor, one-on-one study with. It's good to have someone guiding you. Okay, profitability trading is not that complicated. It's not too difficult to get profitable. But now the difficult thing is to stay consistently profitable. Okay, that's why you need someone to guide you to the right information and make it easy. All right, so feel free, you contact me, we'll talk about that. So like on this, let me see, yes, on this I've marked out some key levels. This is a mid level between two key levels, like from here to here is 100 pips. Now this mid level, 50 pips, you see, price got here, what happened? It bounced off. Price got here, what happened? It bounced off. Price got here, what happened? It came down. Price always reacts around these key levels and mid levels. Okay, always. Now imagine you are trading, you have entries on 1 hour. Imagine you having a bullish engulfing candlestick on 1 hour time frame. That tells you buyers are in full margin. Okay, what makes a key level valid? Okay, the first thing you need to know is the trend direction. Okay, the first thing you need to know is the trend direction. Once you understand the trend direction, now everything you need is for a candlestick, an hourly candlestick to close below the key level if it's a bearish market. Okay, so let's just do some examples. Let's try something. Let me get a chart that I've actually drawn everything. This could be it. All right, let's just use this one. Okay, let's use the 1 hour time frame because that's the time frame. So watch closely, okay, and learn something new. Let's start from, let's go way back so you should have enough examples. Okay, let's take for example this was a bearish trend, okay, and on the higher time frame you had a change of character, maybe somewhere around here. Good, you had a change of character somewhere around here. And what do? You mark out your most recent key level. Okay, after this change of character, what's your most recent key level? You see 1.35. You see it, right? 1.3500. That's your key level. Now that you know we've had a change of character, what are you looking for? Buy opportunities to the upside. Okay, You see this bullish candle? Let me make it big so you can see it better. You see, this is the first candlestick that closed above this level after we had a pullback, right? And once this candle closes, what do? You wait for the next candlestick to open. Once it opens, it pulls back to your key level. When you go back, when you are alone, you back test it, you understand what I'm talking about. So you enter on the next candlestick on the exact key level, and what do? Make sure your stop loss is just 20 pips, nothing more than 20 pips. Okay, make sure it is 20 pips. Your target either the next key level or the next mid level. So between two key levels is 100 pips, like I said. So you target 100 pips. That's the next key level. Okay, so that gives you a 1:5 risk to reward. Okay, now what happened? Price break above your key level here, right? You see price break above the key level. What happened? The next candle opened and came back to your key level. Okay, once you see that, you just get in. What do? Place your stop loss 20 pips. And you can either target the next mid level or the next key level. Mid level is 50 pips, key level is 100 pips. Okay, so let's target the next key level and see, did price get there? Yes, it did. That's already another 1:5, right? And now at this point, price closed below, but the next candle rather closed below. Price closed above, but the next candle closed below. All right, so you wait, because first we've had a powerful move without a pullback. You see, we did not have any good pullback, so we keep watching how price reacts. Now what happens? Price gave us a small pullback, and now this candlestick, this small hammer candlestick closed above. We will not enter on this candlestick, rather we'll enter on the next candlestick when it opens. Okay, so you enter here. Reason why you're entering is because first you've had a pullback. Okay, you've had a clean pullback, then you enter on your key level, exactly your key level. How many pips? You get a 20 pips stop loss, and you can target the next key level or the next mid level. Okay, so what's the next key level? It's 1.7, so the next one should be 1.38. Good. So you target the next key level. That's another 1:5. Okay, just within this zone, you've made 1:5, 1:5, 1:5. This is over 300 pips you've made. Okay, you continue until, and most of the time when you hit a stop loss, no trend is about to change. We actually had a little pullback and price closed above at this point. You see, right? Price closed above. Let me widen it so you can see it better. Price, oh fuck. Network is messy. Okay. Where are we? Okay. So like I was saying, price, we had a little pullback and price went back and closed above. So normally you will not know if price will continue or not. So what do? You enter and you risk just 20 pips, nothing more. So that when you lose just 2% of your capital. But when you earn at least 5%, and you target the next key level, which is 1.39. What happened? Price did not get there, rather you got stopped out. All right, so out of 3 trades you've lost 1. And now everything changed. Price started playing around this point. Okay, so you wait until you have a clean change of character before you start looking for sell opportunities. Okay, so this is actually where we had our change of character. You can see it, right? Price break the most recent lower low, and at this point you can now mark out your mid level. Okay, you mark out your mid level so that you can have good entries in time. So this is your mid level, 1.37500. What happened? Price gave us this pullback and came down and closed below. What do? You wait for the next candlestick to open. Okay, once the next candlestick open, you enter, place your stop loss 20 pips, nothing more. You can target the next mid level, you can target a key level or the next mid level. Okay, targeting the next mid level gives you 100 pips as well, so you come down to 1.36500. okay, that gives you your own 100 pips, and you continue. Did it work? Yes. And along the line you could scale in. Okay, when you had this pullback, all you wanted was price to break and close below. The price closed below, yes, but the candlestick had already moved away from your entry, so you could not enter at this point because price had already moved away from your entry. So you just allow your trade to play out. So once this one is playing out, you keep watching. Okay, price came back, tapped on this zone. Would you enter? Yes, you could still enter because actually price took out structure here, and this was more like a pullback. So you enter here and place a 20 pip stop loss because price bounced and did not close above. Okay, so you maintain your 20 pips, nothing more than 20 pips, and you target the next key level. That's 100 pips, and you actually got stopped out, which is part of the game. Okay, and now what happened? Price closed below, and you wait for the next candlestick to open. It opened and gave you a pullback, but did not come all the way to your key level. So that's why I always say a key level is not a number, it's a zone. So you mark it and you still respect a 20 pips stop loss, nothing more than 20 pips. Okay, and you target the next key level, giving you 1:5. Okay, and it played out. You see, these are simple examples I'm showing you, so you can also to confirm it. Okay, and don't bother, I have some free trainings that I also give every month. You can as well be part of my free training. Meet you to be a mentor, you can also enroll into my mentorship program. It's not that expensive, it's very affordable, and it's not like you just pay for a month. No, you pay and you have lifetime access to me because I actually have a system where within 90 days, if you are a complete beginner, the structure of my system will give you understanding that you can get into the market and become profitable. If in case you are not maybe too focused and you don't successfully get profitable within the 90 days, because I have testimonies of students who've been profitable after 90 days. That's why I had to structure it that way. Okay, so let's say maybe you try it and it doesn't work, you stay until you become profitable. That's why I say you have lifetime access to the academy, to me and other tutors in the academy. So I'm not the only one. I have a couple of tutors who also guide you through the journey. And for those who are just joining us, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and also show some love by hitting the notification bell so that whenever we drop a video here, you receive notifications. I have videos that can guide you a lot. I believe, Eunice, you've been watching some of these videos, and if they've been helping you, do not forget to always comment under the videos, all right? And always tell me the next thing you want me to talk about on the videos. That also go a long way to tell me, to guide me on what my audience really need. Okay, I think I'm ending the live stream now. We've had close to 1 hour on the chats. And I believe the strategy is very simple, right? You now understand how simple it is. Is that it? Is it simple? Okay. I'll be glad to always see your comments. I'll be glad to always see your comments. Okay, that's the goal. Making trading very easy. Okay, simple, but you still need to go and backtest so you can understand it better. Okay, because this is what I'm telling you, but what you will see might be different. Okay, and if you go back, okay, see you next time. If you go back and watch all the before and after setups I always share, you'll see that they always resonate with this simple strategy. Okay, all right. Have a blessed day and a fruitful Easter. Goodbye, guys. See you guys next time.